Hi everybody, this is Brad Hillhouse. I am live at Rosemont, Illinois for the Muscle Car and Corvette National show, and I want to share with you a great owner of a great collection of Corvettes that has brought them here to be on display. I'm going to introduce to you Mike Johnson.
Hello, Brad.
Hi Mike.
How you
Tell
doing?
us where you're from.
Well, I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Great. And before we go and walk through the cars, tell us about what you brought here to the Muscle Car and Corvette National.
Well, I decided that after many years of people asking me to come and bring the collection of tankers from 63 to 67, the 5 years they made the 36.5-gallon gas tanks, that I would bring the collection of every year here because they wanted to display them.
So I'm going to pan down. Your collection that you brought is what we call the NO3 big tank option. Tell us why that NO3 option was created within Chevrolet and how it pertains to Corvette.
Well, it originally started as a part of the Z06 option package that Zora Duntov wanted to be put into the new Corvette Stingray, the 1963, the split window. And he wanted a purpose-built race car that somebody could come in and order the package, drive it off the dealer's floor, and go race it. And so the Z06 package originally included an option called NO3, that was the RPO code, which was a 36.5-gallon gas tank.
And what would the benefit of a bigger gas tank be the way Zora intended it?
Well, the way Zora wanted it to work is that would provide extra range for the racers so that they didn't have to do as many pit stops and spend time in the pits. So as part of the package, that was one of the things he wanted to have in it because the racers would benefit from that.
So it was a way to help the cars have an advantage over other cars that had to stop more frequently for fuel.
That's right. A lot of the cars in those days had 16 to 20-gallon gas tanks, and he wanted to have that advantage with a bigger tank.
Perfect. So if they could maybe eliminate one stop in a race, huge time advantage, right?
Absolutely. A few seconds is everything in those races.
But the RPO N03 couldn't just be given out to race car drivers. It had to be included as a General Motors option, correct?
That's right. And so after the Z06s were built, that he wanted to give to the racing companies and the Corvette racing team, then it was open to the public to be able to order the whole package as well as the NO3 separately.
But mostly it was kind of a, let's call it a secret RPO code. You had to know somebody to actually even be able to check that box when you wanted to order a new Corvette.
That's true. In fact, the rumor goes around that in the first half of the model year, you had to get Zora's approval to even order it.
Because he wanted these cars to be put straight to the track, not just driving around to the country club.
That's right.
Got it. So I'm going to pan back. The first car, we're starting at the 1967. We're going to work our way to the 63s. Tell us just a little bit about this 67 and what makes it unique.
Well, this 67 is unique because by the time 67 rolled around, 67 was not supposed to be a C2. It was supposed to be a Mako Shark C3.
Okay.
So they did not have a lot of parts left over to use for the 67 when they decided to continue the C2 one more year. Part of the parts they were short on were tanks.
Okay.
So the big tanks, there were only 2 of them left in inventory, and so the first 2 people that ordered a big tank got it. So this is the most rare of the tankers because they only made 2.
And I see this car has factory air conditioning. Zora would not have been building race cars with air conditioning.
No.
But because they had the tanks left, if somebody ordered it, it came however they ordered it. And this particular person wanted the air conditioning, and then they got the big fuel tank.
That's right. This particular car was delivered to Benson Chevrolet in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
So it was a person. The other one was exported to Austria as an export car.
So this literally is not only rare, but it's one of 2 cars in 67 built with the big tank, and then it has to be, the other car couldn't have had air conditioning, right?
No, it did not. It did not have
so,
anything.
I mean, we're literally looking at a one-of-one 1967, although we normally think of a race car application for the big tank. This one doesn't have it, and extremely rare and unique.
That's right.
Mike, let's walk to the 66, and I'm going to just start on the back here, and I'm going to hop over. I think we can see inside to look at the back. Normally a Corvette in 66 would have had carpeting, right?
Carpeting and a much deeper luggage area.
So
you could open it.
Because of the fuel tank, it took up much more space within the car. And so this entire back area, it's uncarpeted, and it's just the big fiberglass cover that goes over that extra large fuel tank, right?
That's right.
They couldn't just have a bare fuel tank sitting there, so
no.
They had to make a special fiberglass interior pieces to cover that.
That's right.
Okay, so this car here, tell us a little about the history. It's a 66, and I see now we've got a big block here.
Yes, this one is a 427, but it's a 390 horse. It's not the high horsepower because the person that ordered this wanted every option he could check. And he particularly wanted air conditioning and power steering, things that were not available with the L72 higher horsepower engine. So
this car wasn't purchased or ordered so much for racing. It was ordered because the person thought, if I order every single available option, it might be more rare and more unique.
Yes, because he was buying it for his daughter as her high school graduation present.
Are you kidding?
No.
So then the side pipes and the knockoffs we see were originally ordered on this car as well.
Exactly.
So sometimes we see mid-year cars that have those options added because they look cool later on in their life, but this car came this way from St. Louis.
It did, as well as the Gold Line tires and J56 racing brakes.
Okay,
and a teak steering wheel and a telescoping steering wheel and leather interior.
So this one literally,
it's loaded.
They loaded every single option. Do you think that's the only one equipped that way, or are those is that known?
I'm pretty sure it is. Yes.
How many big tank cars did they build in 66?
In 66, they built 66.
66 and 66. That just happened to be a weird happenstance, though, right?
It's happenstance, but yeah, this car, by the way, was ordered in a small town in Tennessee.
Wow.
Newburgh, Tennessee.
Okay, all right.
And the doctors who bought it for his daughter.
Amazing. Yeah. So now we're going to step back to the 65. Tell us a little bit about the 65, Mike.
Well, the 65 has an L79 engine in it, and most all options, including air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, and so on. Leather interior. It was built as a loaded car. What it didn't have was a radio. The person who ordered this did not want the radio. The dealer convinced him he could make a better deal for him.
Sure.
So what happened was he bought it this way. Now, he wanted the big tank because he was a medical examiner in West Virginia.
Okay.
This was delivered in West Virginia, and he wanted to be able to go anywhere at night, all over the state, in any way he wanted to, without having to go to a gas station to fill up.
So this wasn't purchased for racing. It was purchased and ordered for comfort and convenience.
Yes.
And he could drive a long ways without having to stop for fuel.
That's right.
Or back in the day, gas stations weren't open 24 hours a day.
That's right.
So he would have had to stop at 6 or 7 o'clock at night and not be able to travel any further.
Yes.
And of course, then he wanted air conditioning too.
Yes, that's right.
So again, that would not be typical on a tanker car.
Exactly.
Right?
It would not.
And those of you that are familiar with the engine compartment, you notice that we don't have any of the ignition shielding. That's where Mike was talking about the radio delete or the radio not being
ordered. Yeah.
Right. So when the radio was not there was no need to have the stainless steel ignition shielding covering the spark plug wires, distributor, and coil.
That's right.
Let me just pan back here and we'll take a last little look at this 65. Mike, again, you've got the L79, which was the high horse small block, and the NO3 big tank option. Do you know how many 1965s were built with big tanks?
There were 41 built in.
41?
Yeah.
Okay.